Alright, we got our hydroponic machine in Living Center South. This is considered an upright system. You can also do a floating bed system. I'll kind of show you the basics of both because they're very similar. So, I guess we'll start with the types of plants that you are recommended to grow. Pretty much anything that doesn't flower, just leafy greens. Herbs and lettuce work really well. That's what we've been growing in this. I've just planted some tomatoes this summer just to see how that'll pan out. And right now the plants are massive. You can kind of see that. And they have blooms on them, but I'm running into the problems of pollinating them just because there's no wind in here or bees, and that's how they are pollinated outside. So I'm trying on my own to do it, but nothing has worked so far. But I've been trying different techniques, so we'll see how that works out. But again, anything that doesn't flower is pretty much going to grow in there, and that's about it for that. The water basin, we have about a 7 to 8 gallon water basin, and we refill it every week. Just fill it back up to the line with water. We take a bucket and get water and fill it up until we reach the line, and then we add 3 teaspoons of 3 different types of nutrient solution, which I'll show you in a second. In a floating bed hydroponic system, the basin is pretty much the system, because you're going to get a flatter basin and longer, and then just get the top on it, and then cut holes in the top, and then the bottom is the basin, and you plant the plants in the holes on top. So you don't have to deal with any of this pumps and whatnot, but you'd have to obviously refill the basin probably once a week and add in nutrient solution. But after we refill the basin and add the nutrient solution, you're going to test the pH just with the cheap old pH strips that you can pick up at different places. And most of the time you're going to want it to be between 5.5 and 6.5. Depending on what you're growing, it might be different, but that's pretty standard for everything. So that's that portion. Never mix the nutrient solution together like in the concentrate. Always mix it in the basin. Just because if you mix them with the concentrate, it may react and there will be less nutrients in the solution. So if you mix it in the basin, you're good to go. Alright, so the nutrient solution over here is the Flora something series. I'm not exactly sure. It's just a brand. We have the Flora Micro, the Flora Bloom, and the Flora Grow. And like I said, we put 3 teaspoons of each one in every week. So it doesn't go very fast. We've had 3 harvests, and we've only used maybe a third of the bottle. And this stuff lasts indefinitely. It never goes bad. So you can keep it around. It was $15 a bottle initially, but I mean the stuff lasts for a long time, so not too much of an expense when you play out the timeline. And then the growing medium, we always use rock wool. I know you can use other stuff. I'm not exactly sure what else you would use, but the rock wool seems to work really well. And you can get this at a hydroponic store, maybe a greenhouse type deal, and it comes in flats, and probably about 100 per flat, I would guess. And I bought mine for $10, so pretty cheap stuff. But then you would take this and you soak it in water. It'll instruct you on the back of the package how long, but usually you just kind of dip it in there, and then you would put it into the cup like that, and then you put the seed, plant the seed in the hole. There's a hole in there that you would plant the seed, and then just throw it on the system. And on a floating bed, after you put it on there, you're good to go, because the water level is actually touching the bottom of the cup. In this one, however, it's too deep, and so the water is wicked up through a nylon rope that we just place in the bottom. But again, on a floating bed hydroponic system, the water level is actually touching it, so you're good to go. And then I guess you can kind of see the root system that eventually forms, and that's just kind of around the nylon rope, and now the roots are sitting in the water that is being piped through the whole system. I guess how the water is being pumped through, there's just a pump in the water basin. It just pumps it up to the top. You can see the going up there. And then gravity. These are slightly angled so the gravity will take it down to all the plants there, and then out the bottom. That's why that's happening. So that's it, pretty much, your hydroponic system. Pretty much all you have to do is keep up with it once a week, and maybe a half hour. So not a lot of time at all, and good food comes off it. So, and it's a conversation piece. So good stuff all around, not much work. Do it up.